Oh, wow, this is beautiful.
Quite a spot.
What a gorgeous view. Just visual. Holy frick.
The bug there?
Yeah, it scared me.
Oh.
It looked bigger in my peripheral.
Let's get out of here before the bug gets you.
Wow. So where are we off to?
We're off to Spencer's Island
Okay.
to pick some chanterelle mushrooms and
my gosh.
blackberries and whatever we can find.
You're
Hedgehog
speaking my
mushrooms.
language.
Excited for some foraging?
Very much so. It's something I always love to do, but I don't ever want to do it unsupervised because I will pick the thing that kills me.
So did you grow up here?
Yeah, actually grew up in the next little community, Absecon Harbor, so we grew up there. And then I guess when I was in my early 20s, we moved to Halifax. Went to Halifax and worked there for a couple of years, decided we wanted to get married and wanted to have a family. So my wife and I were both working there, so I was working 7 days a week, so I'd work 3 or 4 months at a time, so it wasn't, she figured it was time to move back home, so we came back home.
Lori, this must be a really popular thing now with people wanting to come with someone who's experienced to actually forage.
Yeah, there's lots of people, want to come and it's like, yeah, like I said before, like the poor people used to just pick the mushrooms and go hunting and fishing and whatnot. Now it's, everybody, it's a cool thing to do. They want to collect adults and, go pick all the different mushrooms and they want to know which ones to eat.
Exactly. It's exciting to go out and try to do that, but it's nice to go with someone who knows what you're picking because I don't know what's edible and what's bad for you.
Oh my God,
and
I would
hopefully
never.
he or she knows what they're doing when they tell you about them too. So
We've been talking to some folks about kind of farm-to-table living. How did you kind of get on that philosophy of foraging your own meat, things like that? Like, that's not the easier road taken, obviously.
Well, we were brought up money poor as kids or whatever. So my dad always hunted and had a garden. So we just didn't know any different. So we would go shoot a deer, use the garden for veggies and catch our own fish, dig our own clams, collect all our own mushrooms and goose tongue greens, crow's feet, fiddleheads, all from the woods. So we didn't know any difference, and we just carried that on. Like we never, in our house, there's never been bought bread unless somebody bought it. So we always still make our homemade bread, and like the seaweed and adults that we collect on the beach, we use in our adults. But that's the way we were brought up. So I guess we never get caught up in the high life or whatever you're calling it, the fast food. And there's not a lot of fast food restaurants here. Yeah. So we just continued on to eat that way.
Food, nature, what's not to love?
Yeah, when say like out here, this is where we do some of our deer hunting. Like I don't eat any raised meat. The only deer meat, only red meat I eat is deer meat. Oh yeah. Because it's 100% organic. It helps actually lower cholesterol. It does. So yeah. So there's some here. So there's some chanterelles here. So you get some here, and then look at these guys. They just break down, and it's the whole ecosystem. Like see how some are different colors. Look at this guy, and then this guy. Yeah. So that's just a toadstool.
Oh my God, these are so perfect.
Nice ones.
Yeah, so that's the chaga tea up there. So that's the one that it's like a cancer to the tree. So it's like a fungus that grows in the tree, and then it'll grow out and become pieces like a black piece.
So how do you remove it from the
So yeah, well, I have climbing spurs, or I have a big chisel, like a telescopic chisel I can put up and knock it down that way. So I usually anything up high I'll leave because lots of people will collect it down low, they can get it. So I'll leave it there till it gets bigger and then I can knock it down. But I wait till 5 nights after it goes below freezing in the wintertime. The tree is completely dormant. We do no damage to the tree and then we knock it off and take and dry it and by the furnace and then we grind it all up and we drink a cup of it every day.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So here's kombucha if anyone wants to.
Oh,
it's homemade
thank you.
kombucha.
Awesome.
We can do it.
Cheers in it.
Cheers, guys.
To a lovely, very educational day.
Thank you.
Amazing. Do you harvest your own honey as well?
No, I trade with a woman. Actually, her sister owns a tire shack in Moncton. So Angie, she gives me this, and we trade kombucha for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like this, actual practical currency thing you got going.
Yeah. So I don't know, this is maybe we could set a little bit longer, but.
Well, I have nothing to compare it to, so.
Yeah, that's right. Just steep it a little bit.
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
get your spoon. Grab this spoon and put a little honey in for you.
You're too kind.
Okay. The lighting's not right here, so you probably don't think much. Actually, it's a nice, you can, I forget what kind of flour. You just taste it first. Like, just taste it. You're the one that's going to use the spoon anyway.
That's true.
It's a different taste to it, doesn't it? Like, I mean,
Got a little honey.
Me too.
Me too.
So we only use, as a rule, we only use honey, maple syrup, and molasses for sweetness.
Oh my God. Have you ever had Towtons?
Oh,
Maybe next time we come up, I'll make you guys Towtons in exchange. Because the molasses on those, mwah.
oh really? We always
Oh, yeah.
do, my dad always would do salt pollock, and my mom would have the salt pollock, or we make fish cakes with it, and then you have mashed potatoes and beets, and you have a piece of homemade bread with molasses and butter. So then we use beet sugar as well.
Oh my God, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so it's...
Beet sugar.
Beet sugar, yeah, it's made from beets.
How do you get sugar from a beet?
Well, how do you get sugar from anything?
I feel like that's a trick question.
No, I mean, it's refined.
I mean, I guess, but... All right. Chaga tea. Chaga.
It's hot, yeah. Be careful, it's hot. Earthy?
I mean, pretty much. It tastes like tea.
Shitty?
No, it tastes like tea. I mean, I would never say, like, this is mushrooms you carved off a tree.
No.
Didn't see his first lighthouse till 33.
God, can you imagine? God.
I can imagine.
He's like, oh, that's what one of those look like. And I was like, is that your first lighthouse? He's like, yeah, why would we have them? I'm like,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
point.
No ships in the lakes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of demand for lighthouses.
No, it was just such a, like, surreal. Then when we were driving back from Alberta last year with the trailer, there was a dirt devil spinning on
Yeah.
the road. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
He's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. The
Meanwhile-
Tasmanian devil's
Oh,
coming.
yeah. I'm like, that thing's gonna carry the truck away. Why are you driving so close to
That's
it?
barely moving dust around in a circle.
Yeah,
We're going to
it
be
was
fine.
So scary.
Yeah. Yeah, same as like it's the world's highest tides. What is it, 160 billion tons of water go in and out every day. Yeah.
It's certainly a piece of paradise you have here, sir.
It sure is, yeah. It's
That's
nice.
really nice of you to share it with the world.
Thank you. Yeah, that's well.
Thank you.
Hopefully they can keep coming.
100%.
I definitely have a new appreciation for mushrooms I didn't have before.
Yeah.
Are you gonna eat them?
I'll try.
Well, this certainly looks different than the farm I was expecting.
I don't know what I was expecting. Hey, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you. Well, this isn't quite what I had in mind when we were coming to a farm.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll be surprised then.
No kidding. What is a maple farm?
Well, you know, farms have crops, and our crop is maple syrup.
That's
Oh,
true.
that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
it's the thing that grows best right here.
No, okay, well, I love maple syrup, so I'm very excited for
Perfect,
this. I
yeah.
can't wait to come in and see your place.
We'd love to have you.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
do it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
So I know maple syrup is a big part of what you do here. Could you elaborate on that a bit for us?
Yeah, actually, it's the heart of our business, and it's what makes us a farm. It's our reason for being. You know, I never want people to come here and just think it's a restaurant, because it's so much more than that. It's embedded in a maple syrup farm, and we do taste education with everyone that comes here.
So how do you know it's real maple syrup?
Good question. I grew up with Aunt Jemima. That's all I ever had till I was in my 20s. But it's how I start every tour. I show that bottle and I say, how do you know? And you have to read the labels. And the first clue, they call it syrup. They don't call it maple syrup. And then on the back of the bottle, you see the word ingredients. And as soon as you see that, you know they've added something, and they're not allowed to call it maple syrup. So that table syrup is high fructose corn sugar and a bunch of chemicals.
What are some of your favorite locally sourced ingredients to work with?
I'm a big pork guy. I'm a pure carnivore, and I absolutely love dealing with local pork and friendly farmers. That's the best part of my job.
So Sweet Earth Farm, literally a few kilometers down the road, a family farm. That's where we get the Berkshire pork. And then Holdanka Farm in Wallace. It's a pasture poultry and beef. Super smart farming, you know, and ethical. And so we source our chicken there. Blueberries from our neighbors who just moved in there, and they're transitioning to organic. So that's a great partnership.
What do you think of this rise of farm-to-table movement where people are really more intentional with where they eat, where that food came from, and how that's really developing over a wider palette?
Well, personally, I think any person who works in a kitchen, anyone who has any experience around food, they can always go to their big brands and order everything they want. And any chef will tell you they get bored very easily doing that, right? So the task at hand is being able to go down the road to the local farm, seeing what they have, if it's good, if it's not. Like, they're not afraid for any criticism. And then the challenge for us is to take whatever they have and make it into something that's beautiful for anyone to enjoy. It's not so much, the job of a chef now is not so much just cooking for people. There's an educational aspect to it as well, because people are becoming more in tune to where they're getting their own food. So they're asking you the question, you know, what goes well with, why does X go well with Y?
And if you had asked me when I was 13, what do you want to do? It would be living in the middle of the woods and meeting people from all over the world. So, you know, in that way, it's perfect.
Yep.
I definitely, if you'd asked me at 13, it wasn't doing this,
wasn't
so
it?
good for you. Yeah, I don't know about you.
Some people just
Do you want
know.
to live in a trailer?
Well, no, actually, if you'd asked 5 years ago me,
Right?
she didn't want to live in a trailer either, but
Good
here we
job.
are. Ooh, getting chilly.
How much jelly are you gonna buy?
A lot. I don't think you're ready for how much jelly I'm gonna buy.
Where are we going?
Here we go,
here?
over here. Oh, it's so beautiful. Hi!
Good morning.
You must be Beverly.
I am.
Thanks for having us here.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my
Want to
gosh.
come right in?
Oh, absolutely, please. Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. That is just to let the gnomes and fairies know we're coming. Life's a story.
Life is a story.
So, I actually give credit for being here to my university days, not my degree, but the fact that putting myself through school, I did a lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you too?
I didn't actually.
Bars?
I worked a lot of jobs, but none of them were like waitressing or
bars
serving.
or restaurants?
Yep.
So that really was my start to understanding that I was a foodie. We have here on this shelf our some of our herb liqueurs, and I would gladly give you a sip of one.
Sure. Yeah, we can definitely try that.
But one of the ones that
awesome.
we have done recently
Oh,
is a lovely autumn arabesque,
Oh, there you go.
that is beautiful.
which is a crabapple liqueur.
Beverly, you have such a flair for every single detail. Like, it's not just a, oh, here's a sample cup for you. This is, oh my gosh.
Now, I'm not exactly sure.
Sorry, what did you say that was?
Autumn arabesque. So it has a little bit of our autumn arabesque crabapple liqueur.
Oh, that is nice.
And then you add your favorite Nova Scotia bourbon or rum. What's next for Tangle Garden? We are getting, even though we do our infused liqueurs, we are getting a little baby still this winter. So we hope to do a little work with that, a little work with tinctures, and that we can add to the jelly. So that's one exciting thing on our list.
Some new flavors in no time.
Yes. What else for Tangle Garden? Well, the garden will continue. Still have lots of plans for that. I hope to get another 20 years out there.
That is definitely your superpower. Not only do you make delicious things, they're works of art. Like when you look around here at every product, it sits like a piece of art, and you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy it with your eyes and your mouth.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like it before coming here.
So we jokingly say we like to make them look pretty and taste pretty.
Well, while Tyson is battening down the hatches for this impending hurricane, I'm glad we get a chance to go check out Amy's farm.
Me too. I'm super excited to see her. I've been watching her Instagram page for like 3 or 4 years now, so it's going to be really cool to actually see it in the real.
Yeah, maybe you'll get some some inspiration for your own garden.
Oh man, there's stuff she does on there that just, it blows my mind how on such a small piece of land she can grow such a variety of things. So
I told Tyson I wanted to do garden boxes, but now that I think about it, I don't know if he's ever said one way or the other if he's like excited to grow food.
Yeah.
I think he is because, he's a big fan of saving money. So, yeah, but I don't think he said one way or the other whether he cares if we garden or not.
I think it just depends on what you want to do. Like, we have what we call like they're raised beds, right? Yep. So it's still kind of a raised garden. It's just not the actual garden boxes. But I know Brendan and I have talked about in some areas we might put garden boxes, and maybe that's where we'll grow our potatoes, like a big garden box kind of thing. But I don't know. It's all up in the air right now because it's a brand new lot. So the world is our oyster to figure out how we want to make it look. So
right, yeah. I think I'm definitely going to do raised garden boxes because I don't think my back can handle like getting down and doing an actual ground one.
Nala, come. Who's this? Come. Hey, how you doing?
Whoa!
This is Nala.
Nala?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
We're really excited to be here and see where food we actually eat comes from.
Yeah.
I was driving up here today and I was like, I've been following you for years, and I was like, I'm really excited to actually see everything in the flesh after following it on your Instagram account for so long. This is going to be a great day for me.
Great. Well, thanks for coming. You want to go see everything?
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on, Nala.
The big thing for you is the fact that you're under a 10-acre farm, is that right?
Yep, we're 9.97 acres here.
And that's not normal?
No, it's pretty small for a production farm. Yeah.
So what made you decide to do that smaller production?
Well, we actually ended up in a small production because this was the property that fit our budget and the size that we could really work with at the time. It was just my husband and I. He was working off farm. I was the only one who was really on farm running things, and we thought, this is a size I can probably manage.
So what got you into farming? Did you grow up in farming?
No, I grew up in the city, in the suburbs, but
Which is not where we are now.
Not here. Yeah, not at all here. I had a very tiny backyard. But my parents actually took me to a farm every summer of my life, and it had cottages on it. And so every morning we dug potatoes to have potatoes with our breakfast, and I could go collect eggs, and there was a big garden, and there were cows and sheep, and it just it was vacation, so it spoke to my heart, and it was lovely, and it was relaxing, and I thought, oh my God, all I want to do is just be in this setting that feels so slow and relaxed, and it's silly because it's not farming at all.
I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but TV and life has told me that's not farming life.
Yeah, that was my idea of it as a child, but it still speaks to my heart now anyway, even through the challenges and through the not relaxing, which is most of it.
I see lots of lovely little treasures in the greenhouse. I really feel like we should go look at them.
Sure, let's go.
If, Nala will let us pass.
Hey, Nala, come in here.
So what have we got going on here? This is a beautiful array of green and gorgeous color.
Yeah, so this is one of our standard tomato houses. So we grow what we call standard sized tomatoes. Essentially, they're not cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. They're a bit bigger. I've got some plums, and there's some slicers over there. And on our farm, because we're quite small, one thing that I always focus on with all of my produce is companion planting. I do it for a couple of reasons. Sometimes it's to attract pollinators, so with flowers. Sometimes it's to retain soil moisture in the bed. So instead of putting plastic down in here to keep the weeds out. I'll plant a bunch of carrot. That makes it so that there aren't a bunch of weeds because carrot's taken over that space. But it also, the root system of the carrot helps to also maintain the soil moisture in the soil, which is good. So, you know, less, typically not this year, but less watering we would use.
So you do this inside a greenhouse right now. Can you do this? A hot hoop house. Noted.
Yeah, hoop house.
Can you do this outside?
Oh yes, yeah, we do this outside. It's harder to do things like trellising of tomatoes and such outside. The reason we companion plant most of our beds. Okay. So when I plant like zucchinis, I seed radish alongside of it because it actually helps to deter some of the squash beetles that come in. And then also it's a great way for me to have a product to pull, you know, before the zucchinis get really big. And that way I've had 2 crops out of one field. We don't grow our tomatoes outside anymore or our peppers simply because our season is far too short.
And they grow much better.
They grow much better in here where they've got the intense heat, and I can trellis them and keep them apart from each other.
There's a lot of focus on farm to table these days. People are really conscious of where their food is coming from. Like, where are you sending your food? Who's coming to you for your specifically grown here food?
So typically I would say that I'm not a fan of social media. However, when you are looking to sell to people directly, social media is quite a big help. So we've used our Facebook and our Instagram page to try and reach local customers and consumers. We're not shipping internationally. We don't ship outside of province, and we don't sell to any really big box stores. So we've, over the years, reached out to some smaller stores that we thought we could fit into, and we sell through them. They help to bring in new customers. When people go to their store and they see our product there, they think, oh, geez, I wonder what else we can get from them, and they'll reach out. But we started at farmers markets, and we sort of moved from there. We now have an online store that people can literally just purchase whatever's listed on our store for a week, and we've been doing home delivery, or we have drop sites, or people are allowed to come to the farm like Friday to Sunday if they've placed an order to pick up anything they've got. We actually purchased this property because it was my grandparents' property, and they weren't farming on it. Well, my grandma was a flower gardener, so she had a lot of different types of flowers around here, but she wasn't farming. But years previous, back in the 70s, this was a dairy farm and before. So we purchased it from them because it was within the family and it was convenient. But it's also 45 minutes to Halifax, and it's about 30 minutes to Truro, and so from a marketing standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for us to be right here. We're sort of central, where we can grow a nice amount of food, and we're not very far to get to our customers.
Man, that was super cool.
Oh my God, it was so great to see. I have such big plans for when we plant our garden in the new house now. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited to cook supper, knowing where it came from today.
I know, it was cool, eh?
I mean, yeah, bring lots of people. We have lots of space and like-minded people. So.
Well, I think it is a specific kind of person that's going to like rent the tents that you have down there. Like, I'm not your person. But for the tourists?
The cold dips, you could do a cold dip and stay in the tent with us. Like, you would have a great time. You'd go back a changed woman.
Yeah, a shriveled prune of a human.
No, you could get, I would let you in the hot tub. I'd let you get in the hot tub just for your first try, or the sauna, or whatever you wanted. We could, yeah.